Hey guys, I made a decision today. I got tickets to see Katy Perry at her VMA performance, and I decided to go to that over seeing Breaking Bad live at 9 o'clock Eastern Time. But I caught the rerun. Also, Miley Cyrus twerking like an idiot. NSYNC reunion. Effing score. This episode, confessions. Jesus Christ, Marie! Like, this show is intense. This show is freaking intense. So much happened in this episode. I mean, we got the interrogation with Hank and Jesse, but the more important things are happening here. Basically, Walt's made a confession video, and I actually, for once, assumed that he was confessing everything for himself. And you know what? I was dead wrong, because he basically said everything that went down, except he switched the fact that it wasn't him who conceived the idea of making meth. It was Hank. Hank was the kingpin in this whole situation. And Walter White has his brother-in-law by the ass. Also, Jesse and Walt are still going through relationship issues. They're gonna get divorced soon. But no, seriously, their friendship is done. Jesse just wanted Walt to be genuine and truthful and not harshful and not just stop lying to Jesse. But Walt still thinks he can manipulate Jesse. And that moment where he hugs Jesse and he's just like, everything's gonna be okay. You know, people might think that Walter's being genuine there, but I don't think he's being genuine. I think he's just trying, he's still attempting something there. Walt has become the epitome of evil. This was the episode. People have been against Walt for a while. Some people have. But it took me a while because I was still on Walt's side. But this episode is the episode where I'm saying, I'm cutting all the bars off here. He's gotta die. He's gone off the far beaten path. And he is not Walter White anymore. He is full Heisenberg for real. And all the decisions he's making are just for himself. And he's being a dickhead. If you're still rooting for Walt, please let me know in the comments down below why you're still rooting for him. Because I can't see any reason why somebody could be rooting for Walt. Except for the fact, just because you like Bryan Cranston that much. Because Bryan Cranston, he's an OG. But the character is just, he's gone to hell. The single-handed most intense moment from this episode was when Jesse had that moment of realization that the ricin was in the hands of the Walter White. But first, he freaks out, and he storms into Saul's office, takes a gun, and almost kills Saul. I was convinced Saul was dying in that moment, but he said, nah. So he intensely drives to the White residence, has a whole thing of gasoline, a whole gallon of gasoline, and we find out, I guess, in this theory, that Jesse is the reason why the house looks like the way it does in the opening of the first episode from a couple weeks back. And he must have wrote Heisenberg on the wall, too. So, Jesse has gone full AWOL, and Jesse... yeah, bitch! There are a couple other things that were involved with this episode, confessions, that I want to talk about really briefly. Walt Jr. and Walt, their little discussion in the living room. Walt is manipulative. We know that, but he's so good, and he has such a talent at manipulating people. And he his own son into, I mean, he does have his cancer back, and he's going for chemo. But you see that look in Walt Jr.'s eyes during this little scene? Like, he looked terrified that his father's going to die at any given day. And it's just so sad. And then we have the first scene with Todd and these two dudes. And there's the part where one of these dudes wipes a blood smudge off of his boot. That shit's coming back. That little smidge of blood, that shit's coming back in some way. But this Ginger Matt Damon kid, he's trouble. And these two guys are trouble. And they're going to wreck some shit in future episodes. We know it. But, it's going to come into play. The future of Breaking Bad is very bleak. And it's scary because there's nowhere else to go but south. There's no way this show ends on a happy ending. I'm going to keep saying it every freaking week, but how do you come out of this in a good way? Maybe in a metaphorical matter, maybe, but in, like, situations of life and death? No. In a nutshell, great episode. Had me on my toes the whole time. In the last 20 minutes, had shit coming out of my pants. I had to clean it up like 5 minutes ago before I filmed this. Also, if you're wondering why I'm wearing these sunglasses, I'm wearing them because when I saw Katy Perry live a few hours ago, her just absolute beauty just destroyed my eyes, and I look like a devil spawn if I took them off. So yeah, they actually burnt, and I was at the concert. Nobody could tell because everybody was screaming. Everybody was screaming in joy while I was screaming in pain, going ah! What did you think of this week's episode of Breaking Bad Confessions? Did you like it? Did you not like it? What was your favorite scene? And what do you think is going to happen in the 4th episode next week? See you next week.